Hello everyone and welcome to the channel as I do. Now I have this tip for making an inflatable or 3D painting, which, as you can see, sticks out perfectly from the surface where we put it and looks great. It is a very easy and excellent project to do with the little ones. Although you can also make some paintings for yourselves, and if you know how to draw better than me, which is most likely, you will be able to do some incredible things. So without making this any longer, let's see what we will need to make them. We are going to need the most important thing, which is shaving cream, and it can be any brand. White glue, cornstarch or better known as cornstarch, condiment containers like these that have a point to store the paint there, some jars to mix all the ingredients, a spoon or some wood to stir everything, vegetable coloring that is preferably liquid and in the colors you want, and finally 2 unicell plastic cups to use as a reference for measuring the ingredients. Now let's see how to make them. We take our glasses and grab our resistol, and we are going to pour more or less half of the glass. This will all depend on how much paint you want, but for this project these are the measurements. Then we take the shaving cream and put more or less the same amount, which in this case is the glass almost full because this is a sponge, but divide them into equal parts so that it looks even better. Since we poured it, now we pour the glue into one of the bottles we have, and then we put the shaving cream. You will have to take this out with the spoon since it does not fall on its own. Just make sure to take it all out so that nothing is wasted since we have the 2 ingredients in the container. Now we mix perfectly for a couple of minutes so that everything is incorporated very well. Once you have finished doing it, it should look like a meringue consistency, just like I show you on the screen. Once everything is well mixed, we just grab our vegetable coloring and follow the instructions on the package to get the color we want. In this case I want it red, so on the package it says that 25 drops are enough. But I had to add more than double the amount indicated because otherwise it would leave it as a pastel pink color. But that will depend on the coloring they use. Now just mix perfectly. It is worth mentioning that although we are using vegetable dyes, this paint is not edible at all. So be very careful that children do not put it in their mouths since it is toxic due to the glue that we are putting in it. So I recommend that you do it with children over 5 years old and still supervise them all the time. Once we have the desired color, it should have the same consistency as before, only in color as can be seen on the screen. Now we only add a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is totally optional, although I think it has a better consistency and when it dries it will be harder and without holes. Then that is what it does when there is a lot of air left in the mixture. Stir everything thoroughly until completely incorporated. In the end there shouldn't be any difference with what we had already done. Finally, we took one of our containers and very carefully poured all the paint we made. Here preferably put some newspapers or some cardboard so that they do not stain the surface where you are doing it. Make sure you scoop out all the paint with the help of a spoon so that not a single drop is wasted. And as you can see, with these measurements it is enough for us to completely fill the boat. We only clean the part where the lid screws on, since as the paint contains glue, it can get stuck and then it will be very difficult to uncover it. Once clean, just put the lid on and it's ready to use. Now if you want to make more colors, just follow the exact same steps. Put the glue and the shaving cream in equal parts with the help of some glasses. Pour everything into a container and mix perfectly until you have a meringue consistency. Then add the color you want, in this case blue, and mix perfectly. If necessary, add more coloring until you have the desired color. Finally, add half a tablespoon of cornstarch and stir until incorporated. Now take the container where you are going to put it, making sure to use all the paint you have made and only clean it and close it perfectly with its respective lid. Now it is ready to use as I will show you below. If you wanted to make it white, just don't put any dye in it. Lastly, just take a cardboard or some type of paper that is thicker than a normal sheet, and if you want, like I did here, mark the drawing you want to make, which in this case is Captain America's shield, but you can do it with whatever comes to mind or better yet by creating your own drawings. As you can see we only try to follow the lines with the paint, always starting at the edges to make it easier to fill. I emphasize trying because as you can see it is not perfect at all. But if you get the jars with the thinner nozzles like the ones you use to decorate the cakes, I'm sure it will look much better on you than it does on me. Do one color at a time, and if necessary let some parts dry a little so that the paints do not mix with each other. But as you can see, it is quite easy to apply, and I know that you will have a good time doing this project with your children, nephews or grandchildren, and apart from encouraging your creativity, it is a good therapy and coexistence. Familiar. Once finished, more or less, I'm left like this. The truth is that for doing it the first time and not knowing how to draw very well, I think it doesn't turn out so bad. Now just let it dry for at least a couple of hours so that it is completely hard. so you can hang it or make it like a painting or whatever you can think of. As you can see, this is how it is finished, and as you can see it was deformed a little because I moved it ahead of time. So once you finish it, don't move it at all until it dries. But as you can see, it looks quite good and in third dimension or standing out as was our intention. I also made this sun disc before as a test with yellow paint, and it also turned out fluffy and hard as it dries. Likewise, I also made this boat that I had already shown you at the beginning of the video. But I repeat, you can do whatever you imagine, and I know that all your family and friends are going to love it. And even more for the little ones who will have a lot of fun since it is a project that they can do from the beginning, and when they see their drawings captured and that stand out as if in third dimension, they will be fascinated. And the best of all is that you only do it with shaving cream, glue and vegetable coloring. The most expensive thing is the shaving cream, but for example, this 400 milliliter one cost me 30 Mexican pesos and I didn't use even 10% of it. So we can make a lot more paint or use it as the product it is. As you already know, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share with all your family, friends and acquaintances. Thanks for watching and I hope you liked this advice. As always, see you in the next videos. Thank you.